I enjoyed the win. I enjoy the process of getting a group of players together to formulate a game plan to attack an opponent. But the all that's well and fun, but there's nothing that matches the exuberance of winning or just accomplishing the goal you set out to have. So it was almost better that it was the far from being the cleanest game. You need to win games. They're one score games that go down to the wire because you need to be able to perform um, down the wire if you're going to succeed. So it was a good experience.
Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel there. It is time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com, Joe.
All right. We haven't spoken to him for a while here. Kyle Krabs, host of Locked On Fins and A to Z Sports NFL analyst, joins us. Kyle, good morning. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, Joe. How you doing?
It's great to be back and slept all day yesterday. I feel like a brand new guy today, man. I really do. Woody's back and got me ready to go again. Hey, so I got to ask you, 16-13 overtime win, and everybody was fired up. They missed a 56-yard field goal to win. As a matter of fact, the guy got released, Matt Gay, from the Commanders, let him go after missing 2 field goals. I'm just curious, overall, what'd you think of the way the Dolphins played in the game?
I thought Mike had a nice summary of not a clean game. Certainly a lot to improve upon. Kind of the ebbs and flows of a game when you shoot yourself in the foot and you turn the ball over in scoring territory on downs a few times. I think maybe the familiarity with Dan Quinn maybe didn't help you with some of the things you were trying to do offensively. Certainly felt like they were well prepared for a good game plan to go against the Dolphins, but love seeing that running game get going. Love seeing Ben don't break, and the defense kind of put the brakes on Washington when they got down and scored territory too.
Yeah, no question. So as you look at it, now you've won 2 straight. You're 4-7. You've dug a big hole to get out of to get to the playoffs, but it is a friendly schedule the next couple of weeks, especially Saints and Jets, each with 2 wins. And they listen, they do play hard. I think they got to find out. My number one goal for this team is try to figure out who you want back that's going to be, and you see improvement from, especially the young guys, and they're playing most of them. It's good to actually see the third defensive tackle getting a chance to play now. So all 3 of your draft picks are playing. What do you want to get accomplished besides whatever might happen the rest of the season over these last 6 games?
That's it, man. It's every operation. It's every element of the football operation inside the building, right? Because we know there's going to be some changes up at the top with the general manager position and what that trickle down effect looks like. But assessing the players, the coaches, just trying to get a feel for how deep these changes need to go. And I know a lot of people have opinions of that, but the only opinions that matter are the people that are making the decisions, right? So getting as much clarity. I'm with you about the young guys and getting a chance to play. Bummer about Juju Brents, the corner who started the last 2 games, season-ending injury. It sounds like for him that's exactly the kind of guy that you picked up off waivers as a former second-round pick that you'd love to see play a half a season, get a feel for. Now, he's under contract with the team this year upcoming, but it's not like you could put eggs in that basket after an injury here and say, hey, we think we got a starter in Juju Brents. Now let's bring it back and let him compete. But that's an example of clarity, even if it didn't break the way that you maybe hoped it would based off his 2 starts that he had for Miami.
Yeah, and you got a couple guys having great seasons. Boy, I'll tell you what we're getting out of Achane right now is just incredible. 3rd in the league in rushing. And then on the other side of the ball, Brooks at the middle linebacker position, 20 tackles in this last game. He was already number 1 in tackles in the league and had some huge stops or was in on a lot of plays on the line of scrimmage. Those 2 seem to be the 2 best players. I did want to ask you, though, as we go forward, especially on the defensive line, now that Zeke Biggers is playing along with Jordan Phillips and Kenneth Grant, how are those guys playing? Are you seeing all of them? Zeke's just played the last 2 games. Are you seeing him getting better?
Yeah. I think for Zeke, his skill set's a little bit, it's certainly different than Kenneth, where I think you're seeing Kenneth now really settle in a little bit with the speed of the game on the inside. He's jumping backdoor on the center to make that tackle at the line of scrimmage against Washington. That's a great play. He's really starting to turn it on. Jordan Phillips is a guy who's a point of attack kind of guy, not necessarily a penetration guy. And Biggers is the same kind of player, but he's built like a base end with that length. He's got a lot of length. He's 6'5", 6'6". So
Right.
I think you got different skill sets for different front types that those guys can all be optimized within. And it's okay. Let's get them really rolling with what their skill set dictates is kind of the best way to use them early on. And then the test for them as they continue to rep will be how much can you diversify your game. And that's why I think with Kenneth Grant, the athleticism that he has for being the size that he is, that's what makes it such an exciting projection. And you're starting to see the light bulb come on, which just should not be a surprise with him working with Austin Clark, right? Who's one of the best position coaches that Miami's had down there for quite some time. And he always gets guys to develop. It's player development at that position has been really consistent with Clark as the defensive line coach. So, yeah, you're seeing them all get better, and I think they have a nice variety of skills to give you a little something different.
We talk a lot about Patrick Paul on the offensive line and how he's getting better and the things he's been able to do. Aaron Brewer looks like he's been really good. My God, he's been out in front of some blocks. How's he played overall?
So he's been sensational. He's been so good.
Wow.
And it's funny because the investments that they made on the offensive line this year were at left guard and right guard, right? They brought in a new swing tackle who they felt maybe fit the scheme a little bit better in Larry Borum, who I think has done well as a swing tackle in his own right. But Cole Strange and Jonah Savaianaya, I don't know that the guard play as a whole has been that much better than what they had last year. Now, Jonah's a rookie, and I thought he played probably his best game against Washington. But, Cole Strange, it's in a couple of big moments in short yardage areas, that's where you're getting pushed back, right? Because I think he'd probably, in a perfect world, be better suited to play center, but you have Brewer. Like, the difference between Strange, who I feel like is built like a center with his functional strength and his movement skills, but he's not on Aaron Brewer's level on either of those two things, versus what James Daniels could have been for you, is a chasm. And it's for Brewer to be as good as he's been with a year and a half worth of guard play that you just keep looking at on film saying, man, wish this was a little better, or wish this performance was higher. And it's just a testament to Brewer and what he gives you. And it makes you really hopeful that Savaianaya can continue to develop. And I want to see James Daniels play at some point this season, right? We got 3 snaps at him. He signed a 3-year contract. Now, I don't believe he has a whole lot in the way of guarantees after this year, if any. So it's not like they're locked in, but it sure would be nice to know what you have with James Daniels. But if they make like sweeping regime changes, like he might not be even a guy that's back next year.
That's a good point.
You're opening up that spot again.
Well, let's talk about the guy next to him who is expected to be back after the bye week, and that's Austin Jackson. I know when he plays in this system, he's been real good. He got a new contract because of it. But, boy, the last couple of years, he just missed so many games. How do you treat this? He's going to miss, obviously, by missing this last game more than half the games again this year. That's 2 years in a row. How do you treat us going forward with him at right tackle?
I don't think we can bank on Austin being the starting right tackle. Now you can move on from that contract, and depending whether you post June 1st it or pre-June 1st it, you could save a couple $1 million in cap space. You could split it and you could save like $8 million in cap space if you post June 1st it, but then you don't get the savings until after June 1st to help you with your salary cap budget. So you got a couple different ways that you can cut it. Maybe you bring him back, but if you bring him back, then you better be either signing somebody that can play guard and tackle that you feel like can give you a certain threshold, or you're drafting somebody. Now, Larry Borum, he's been fine. Now, I think if you were looking at him as he's your starting right tackle, and Austin Jackson doesn't exist, you'd probably look at it and say, yeah, I think we could get more dynamic here. I think we could get a better difference maker here and have a higher floor and a higher ceiling of performance. But as a utility offensive lineman who can play 4 spots along the offensive line and has been starting since week 2 at right tackle for the Dolphins, he's been a heck of a whole lot better than what he was in Chicago trying to block for Caleb Williams. And I don't want that to get lost in. If they keep the same system, I would love to get Borum back, but not with the intention to be a starter. But as far as Austin, the injury stuff, it's too much money with too many games missed, in my opinion. And this is the kind of stuff we have to start detaching ourselves from with these second contract players, because for this, 3rd year in a row, we're into November and we're looking at the payroll and who's on the field and what we're paying guys to not be on the field. And it's too much.
Yeah. Good call, by the way. I agree with you. And Larry Borum has been a lot better than I thought. And I was told when he got here from Chicago, he has been a lot better player. And again, I'm with you. I'm not saying, he's, you hope you can upgrade that position down the road here. Hey, so I got to ask you the big one. Seeing Tua, how'd you think he played? Everybody's kind of all over the board on how Tua played in this last game. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought he played fine with what they asked him to do. I thought maybe we were a little late on the crosser to Waddle there that Bobby Wagner broke up. Maybe the ball could have been out in front of Waddle a little bit more.
Yep.
So the margins on that play on a 4th down in a tight area of the field that's the difference from scoring a touchdown and not getting anything. So I thought what stood out to me in that game was how they called the passing offense. It felt to me like Washington kind of gave you we're going to play too deep, we're going to play soft over the top and not give you explosives, and we're going to dare you to stay patient with the run. And what Miami defaulted to from a passing game perspective felt like it was a lot of like 2024 perimeter screens. Oh, we're getting, a 4 high shell, like they're giving us quarters and we're getting a lot of space. Let's get the ball to the perimeter quick. So you get these screen passes. I think they had seven designed screen passes. It might have been more if they counted a couple as rushes because they were backwards passes. They didn't have a lot of true drop back passing, which is a departure from what some of this season has been. And they felt like they spammed the perimeter screens. And as a result, you're looking at where they're throwing the ball on the field, and everything's inside of 8 yards of the line of scrimmage, and everything's inside the numbers. So it felt like to me they played in a box in this game. And I don't know how much of that is we want to limit the turnover-worthy play elements of what Tua has been doing recently versus what they're giving you from a coverage perspective. So I thought they kind of just kept this thing pretty close to the vest with what they asked him to do.
Yeah.
And there were some times where it probably felt like it was limiting the offense in this game in particular.
It's funny you said that because Mike's made it real clear. The one thing is the turnovers. He has one stat, and that is turn the ball over just kills him. He just kills us. It's just his number one pet peeve, which I probably with most coaches is you don't want to turn the ball over. And I'm with you. Just get the ball in doubt, get it to Achane out wide, and let's see if and hey, he made a couple plays on his own. Looked like one play's going out of bounds. The next thing you know, he damn near gets a first down by cutting back in. So it was good. Okay, hey, I'm going to have you put your fan hat on for a second.
Yep.
And my guys are all over the board, and I'm not going to call all my former teammates as we're all standing in line in Madrid waiting to go through you got to get back on the plane there and go through everything you have to go through at the airport. But what'd you think of the kick the field goal or go for it like Mike did at the end of that game?
Oh, boy. I have to imagine the lot that you run with, there was a lot of kick that field goal, huh? I would have to imagine there was a lot of that consensus. But I didn't mind the decision to go.
I didn't either, by the way. I was like, look, man, we've won 3 friggin' games. Let's get this friggin' touchdown. And by the way, in the back of my mind, I was thinking of the Chargers. And the last thing I want to do is see these guys get a 45 or 50-yard return. Anyway, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and that's exactly right? Because it's the cost benefit of if we don't get it, they don't have any timeouts, and they're on the 1 yard line to start the drive. What is the probability of them going down and getting enough yards to need that score? Now they got some chunk gains, but they got on the plus side.
They did get a couple, yeah.
And then they had to try to pass the ball and work it outside the numbers. And we miss a throw. Jason Marshall almost has an interception, and they run out of gas.
Yeah.
So they did not get into their scoring territory. So from a probability standpoint, that was what you're asking yourselves: is it worth kicking the field goal and then resetting the field position for them to be in a position where they might need, off a bad kick coverage for Miami, they might need 20 yards of offense to just tie the game again anyway, versus they need 65 yards to be in position.
Yeah.
And if you get a stop with you having your timeouts and you get a stop early, you could be starting on the plus side of 50 and then just make the field goal decision again if you force the stop.
So
now, it obviously did not play out that way,
right.
but that's the probability-based portion of the decision that I did not mind the decision. I minded some of the play calling that led up to fourth down.
Okay, well, but you already went too far in the first part of this answer, so I just want to let you know and prepare yourself on the Locked On Fins reaction you're going to get, that people are going to say they're going to rip you for that day.
I get it.
I got killed yesterday. They're accusing me of trying to, going like I'm going over to have dinner with Mike that night or something. And my guys, by the way, were split. I'd love to tell you how everybody voted, but I don't know. Jimmy Cephalo was like, kick it. Bo was kick it. And I can't answer the Dan Marino one. I'm going to leave him out of it. But you can, his aggressive personality, you could probably figure that one out a little. But I was, we were having this little not heated, just talking while we're killing time. Everybody's wiped out from the in line there, and we were talking about this. So it was good. Hey, by the way, take in overtime, knowing how good they and everything. You take the ball first, or you take it second?
Oh yeah, I take it second.
Me too.
And that's become a much more commonplace decision.
And everybody's saying we're dumbasses, and that we would not want to take it first because they might have a 10-minute drive. That's what Woody said. They might get a 10-minute drive in.
Well, no, he walked it back to 6 or 7.
Yeah. Oh, I like that you were listening. By the way, I take it second too. Dave Hyde calls me. I take it second. What are you talking about? Let's find out what happens and let's go. We'll know exactly what we need to do.
You guys are all wrong.
You want to know situationally exactly what you're dealing with. That and since they've made that rule change, I will say across the league this year, it has become much more commonplace for the decision with the toss to be, we'll defer in the extra period so that we know how we need to call a game. It's like it became meta like 10 years ago. Go for 2. If you're down 15, go for 2 as soon as possible, because you need to know if your 2-point conversion play works or doesn't. And you need as much time left on the clock to make whatever strategic decisions you need to make if you need an extra possession. It's that same kind of.
And if they go on a long drive, though,
get all your information.
They're not going on a 10-minute drive.
And
we went through this yesterday. He thinks you're going to wipe it out. Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, on that note,